Okay, welcome back. So we are working on this script that you should have seen in the previous video, the introduction / overview video. We're going to work on this script that orders items with a gap, either forwards or reverses the order or shuffles the order. Very handy one for layering sounds and sound design and all of that good stuff. So we'll start by deleting the test that I just made. Okay. All right, so new script. Item ordering with gap. Specified gap. Alrighty. So we've got our main function, main set of instructions, and we call it at the end. All right. So we'll do what we usually do. We'll sort of go through and just sort of benchmark what we're going to do, signpost what we're going to do. So the script works with what items you have selected. So count selected items. Verify that we have some items selected, and then don't proceed if we don't satisfy that condition. All right. So what do? Prompt the user for the mode. So that'll be forwards, reverse, or shuffle. If you think of anything else, definitely try and implement your own sort of thing. If there's some cool functionality you can think of that I'm not thinking of, please by all means add in a fourth mode there. So prompt the user for the specified gap. Cool. All right, so now we're going to do that thing where we construct the table, the running table, and we'll call it items. Declare an empty table. Declare an empty items table. So iterate through all selected items and store an entry in items that contains a reference to the media item, start position, length. Do we need end position? I can't remember. I'll throw it in. End position. I think that's it. Cool. So we take all of that data about every item and we make an entry about that in this items table. Cool. Nice one. All right. So what would be next then? Yeah. So based on the mode that we are currently in, sort the table appropriately, meaning forwards, backwards, or shuffled. Cool. So at this point, we'll have our order defined. Cool. And then I think it's just a case of iterate through all entries of the items table and space them out in the correct order with the specified gap between them. And I think that's it. And we want to do the update timeline function as well, just so we can instantly see all the changes made. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, let's get into it, I guess. Whoopsies. Nope, not Chrome. We want you. So we'll open up our favorite page, Reaper API. All right, so we want to do a lot of the things that we've done a million times before. So count the media items, num of selected items. So we need a reference to the active proj. Notice how I did it outside of the main function. Doesn't really make much difference. The only reason I do that is because we're going to have other data outside of the main function, like the modes and stuff. So we can have some predefined stuff up there. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't make too much of a difference. So if we've got at least one selected, then we proceed. So we wrap all of the rest of the script within this if statement. Oh, my laptop's getting excited. It knows something good's coming. All right. So prompt the user. Let's do that. So that's get user inputs. Yep. Okay. So remember this one. If there's a value that we're not really going to use, the convention is to assign it an underscore, just to signify that we don't really care about that ret val. So this will be user input mode. So we'll do numbers, I reckon. So one will be forwards. Whoops, this is meant to be a string. One will be forwards, two reverse, and oh geez, three shuffle. So I'm just running out of space there. That's why I'm bumping this over to here. Oops, one input type 1, 2, or 3, and we'll start off with an empty string there. Cool. All right. So they're going to type 1, 2, or 3. So we need to convert user input to a number. So we've done that before. We can overwrite user input mode with the outcome of to number of user input mode. Returns the number 1, for example. All right. So we haven't defined our modes. So remember how we did that in the demo. There was a table up here called modes, and that itself was a table, and we had keys that were descriptive, forwards, and the values. It's kind of funny, the values don't matter so much. It's more about just having a value that we can compare with later. So forwards has the mode value 1, if you want to think of it that way, reverse number 2, etc. So what we can do here is, now that we've got something from the user, if if user input mode matches any of the modes in the modes table, yeah, so check if it matches any of the modes in the modes table. I'm just sort of thinking, actually, maybe the default mode could be 1. And if they don't get the mode correct, it could just space it out forwards for them. That way you could use this script for just spacing and you don't really care about all the shuffling. So you could do it quickly. You could do the shortcut, press escape, press 1, and away you go. That way we don't have to like punish the user if they do a typo. It'll still sort for them forwards, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. So what we're going to do up front, we're going to define the mode. So current mode is what the user selects, and it defaults to modes.forwards. So it defaults to 1. So this is the same as current mode equals 1. Functionally, it's the same. We just do it like this because it's a little bit neater and readable, I suppose. Those are the main reasons. It's harder to muck things up, I guess. Cool, so that's the default mode. So if their input is garbage and it doesn't work, it'll still do the forwards mode. Cool, so the way that we check if it matches any of these, yeah, we can do this. So if modes, no, that's not going to work. What are we doing? Yeah, we need another table, don't we? Modes map. Cool. So, so 1 will be modes.forwards. 2 will be modes.reverse. And 3 will be modes.shuffle. Whoopsies. Modes.shuffle. We need commas for those. So we're actually not going to convert. We're not going to convert because the keys in our modes map are actually just strings. We're just going to leave it as strings. That way we don't have to do any conversion. All right, so if modes map of user input, then. So what we're doing here is we're just checking to see if what they wrote appears anywhere on this left-hand column. And if it appears anywhere there, then the code will enter this if statement. And if they wrote for or if they wrote Q, it's not gonna go into here. And our current mode will stay on forwards. But if they did write something, then we update current mode to be this. Whatever they wrote in mapped to the modes. Does that make sense? So if they write the character 2 here, it's going to check to see if 2 is in modes map. So it's going to check if 2 is in there, and it is. So that's going to give us the value modes.reverse, which is this. And it's going to set current mode to be reverse. Cool. All right, so that was different to what I initially wrote out, but that's okay. I think this is probably a better way to do it. All right, so the next prompt is we want a, grab a freshie of this. The next one we want is the specified gap one. All right. So again, we don't care too much about the ret val. User input gap. We do care about that one though. So type your desired gap. So it's a string. Inputs are 1. We could say in seconds, and it starts off empty. All right, so the same with this one. We could define a standard gap, and then if they type something weird, it doesn't do anything. Maybe the gap could be 1 second. So specified gap could start off as 1, and if they choose not to type anything, then it doesn't get updated. So this one we are going to convert to number. So check if successfully converts to a number. We've done this before. What that means is, you know, if they wrote the letter Q, it's not going to convert that string to a number because Q is non-numerical. So we can check to see if would successfully convert like this. Because if user input gap is the letter Q, the return value of this function will be nil. So what we're doing here is we're checking for the existence of a useful return value. So if we do get a useful return value, that means they definitely did type in a number. So then we can update this with the outcome of to number. So that's good. All right, so that's all we need to do there. Let's just try and run it and see if we've done anything wrong. It's not going to do anything just yet. So type tells you to type 1. That's great. Cool. So that worked. You can't see it. It's off screen. It says saved and recompiled. But so far so good. This is a bit of a bummer though. Clips off that. Type 1. Yeah, maybe for now it can just be empty. Oops. One, 2, or 3. Is that self-explanatory enough, just having the title? Yeah, I suppose it's fine. Okay, nothing's crashing, so far so good. All right, so this one here. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so we've got the number of selected values here. That's good. So we've done this sort of thing before. Now there's a slight difference here. You will remember that in previous videos, we did it like this. Starting from index 0, because that's the way that Reaper indexes things. But what we're going to do is we're going to do something slightly different. And the reason is we want I to start off at 1, because when we index tables in Lua, they start off at 1, not 0. Reaper indexes things starting from 0. Lua indexes table elements starting from 1. So it's kind of annoying. But that's how it is, and we're going to work with it. And the way that we're going to work with it is we're going to have two sets of running numbers. We're going to have I, which will start at 1, and that's going to be for the items table. And J is going to start at 0, and that's going to be for the Reaper indices. And that's all we do for that. So when I is 1, J will be 0. When I is 5, J will be 4. So we've got these two numbers counting up alongside each other with a difference of 1. Maybe that deserves a comment. Lure tables start at 1. Reapers indices start at 0. That's the reason why we have these dual numbers. All right, so we need a reference to the media item. Get selected media item. Cool. So we've got our active proj, and the integer that we're passing in will be the j, because that's the one that starts at 0. Okay. Let's put comments. Get reference to the item, to item. Get start pos. That's the next thing we're going to do. So we've done that before. It's get media item info value. That one there. So this is the one that we pass in a parameter name. Parameter name is going to be this position. We're also going to use length in a different function call. Cool. So start pos is pass in media item, and here we pass in D position in capital letters. We also want the length. That's going to be D length. And we calculate the end position. Oops. Which is just start position plus the length. Cool, so that's everything that we wanted to store. So here we make an entry in items using all of the above. So items I. So the first time we run this iteration, I will be 1. So this will be items 1, the first index, the first value. And the second time I will be 2, so items will be 2. So this itself is a table, right? Denoted with the squiggly brackets. The key for the item reference is the string item. And the value is this reference here, media item. Start pos is start pos. So remember this is a string key, but this is the number value here, okay? Length is length, and npos is npos. Cool. So those are the values that we're passing in. Cool. So that's everything in that comment there. So then we're gonna do the sorting and all of that sort of stuff. Now this is turning into a fairly large video. Let's just run the script, make sure nothing crashes. Unexpected symbol near local. Yes. There we go. Try again. And it's all good. Cool. So we haven't actually done anything. It doesn't do anything on the table. But let's break the video there, and we'll look at this sorting stuff next. Okay.